Welcome back with your girls for another episode here on Mindset Talks podcast. We are delighted. If y'all been tuning in, we're on year 2 of podcasting. So this is our second episode into our second year. So I'm looking forward to another fun one because that's all we deliver, of course. So y'all better tune on in and stay tuned. So what we got for us today, Cassie?
Well, we have a whole bunch of stuff that we're going to talk about today. And just because I'm me and I like to be very technical with everything, technically speaking, this is our first episode into our 2-year anniversary because
Okay.
our last episode dropped technically before
Right
2
before.
year.
Mm-hmm.
So we have a banger. Well, maybe not that much of a banger, but all things life updates and celebrity gossip and drama because what else is there to talk about these days? I don't know.
Okay.
But
All right. All right. Well, I'm here for it. So I figured we can just kind of pick up where I last left off. Recently posted about the Big E, right?
oh,
This
yes.
3-week fair that happens here in Massachusetts and New England, for those of you who are not in the area. It's been going on for many years. Like when I say
Mhm.
many years, like even when my aunt, not saying that she's old, but, when she was younger, the Big E was a
Hey,
thing, so
auntie.
right, right, no disrespect on the age at all. So, I had last recently posted, when I was at the Big E, and I completely forgot to post some follow-up. I'm just like, "Yeah, your girl's here at the Big E, and tune in with me today," and I was
You had that much fun. It's all right.
I'm not gonna say it was boring, and I'm not gonna say it was the most fun of my life, but it was busy. Like,
Always
going to the
busy.
fair and my first time at the fair with the baby was super busy,
Mm.
but there were so many bees at the fair.
Oh, gosh.
So many, like
I was thinking you're
and
talking about people, not busy bees, but go ahead.
mm-mm, no, like, actual yellow jackets all over the place,
Yikes.
these suckers, and, of course, because there's food everywhere and
Yeah.
there's drinks and people spill stuff, and I was just like, "God damn," I didn't even like, I needed a free hand to, like, swat them off, and, usually you don't swat a bee because, it's indication of some kind of fear, so usually you don't
Right.
do that or they'll sting you,
Mm.
but they knew what time it was because we was over here knocking the hell out these things,
Oh my
and
god.
they would go away, but yeah, that was the only thing that I would say was, the least fun of my experience, but it was just a
Yeah,
good
of course.
time. I was there with my sister and our kids, and we're just walking around and eating some food. So for us, I would say it's more of my sister's ritual than mine because I usually go with her. I'm not a huge fair person. It's not really my thing.
Mm.
I also don't really eat most foods that are offered at fairs. So
Yeah, that's
that,
true.
that also makes it just kind of a deterrent for me to not want to go.
Mhm.
But
Well, what is something
there's
that you had that you enjoyed? Like, is there a food that you had there that you really liked?
Every year I get the lobster rolls. So not every year, but every year I go, I
Yeah.
get the lobster rolls. There are houses for each of the New England states. And for those of you who think New York is a part of New England, it's not. So newsflash, in case I've heard too many people say that New York is a part of New England, and it's not.
Yeah.
So there's a house for each state, and within each house there are what they're famous for or most known for.
Yeah, I
So
think you talked about it on one of the other episodes too.
right. So Maine was the house I went to.
Mhm.
I switched it up a little bit this year and actually got a baked potato from there as
Ooh,
well.
yes, is my favorite.
Yeah, I'm not a big baked potato person at all. It wasn't bad though. It was pretty good,
Yeah.
but um not on my list of things to really do again for the biggie because again, I'd save that spot for another lobster roll.
Right, right.
But the lobster rolls were literally like $20 a roll,
That's
which
insane.
yeah, because I'm pretty sure I haven't been since before COVID.
Mm.
So it used to be like 8 or $10 a lobster roll.
Damn, that much of a jump? That's insane.
Yeah, no, it's like it's
Wow.
crazy. So I did not beat any of my personal records of eating more than 4 lobster rolls. I ate 1 because I was being cheap.
Yeah, I would too. I wouldn't pay more than that. That's wild.
It was good as hell though, I ain't gonna front. Like that
That's
lobster roll was
at
banging.
least it was worth it. Shit.
Right. But what I will say is there was this banging ass caramel apple hard cider,
Hmm.
which it sounds like, okay, like, how you gonna do a caramel apple hard cider? That shit was smooth. It was not too sweet,
Mm.
where it's like it was the caramel was very subtle,
Mhm.
and it was just, I don't know, it was delicious. It was very delicious, and it was very easy to drink, and I'm pretty sure that's why I had so many damn bees around me because of that damn
Oh,
drink,
yeah, yeah.
but it was so, so good. It was like this little it was just like a little small stand, like, it wasn't anything crazy, but that probably was my most favorite thing was that caramel apple hard cider. So I'm
Interesting.
supposed to be going again this weekend, which it'll be not the same time this episode comes out, but
Yeah.
I'll be going again, and I'm looking forward to getting that cider again. And we'll
Well,
actually
good.
have grandparents there.
Okay,
So
so you get a little break, like a
someone's
little,
gonna take that baby, and I'm
yeah.
gonna have a cider in each hand.
Oh,
So that
there
way,
you go.
going
That's
back and
what I'm
forth.
talking about.
Staying well hydrated.
Yeah. Well, and the sad thing is that I might also go that same weekend, but I
Mm,
think I'd probably go on the other day than you would
right,
be going. So
right.
sadly, if I do go, I will miss you, but I will
Mm,
take these tips and maybe I will try out the cider and see actually
yeah.
how good it is.
Yeah, let me know when you're there. I can definitely guide you in the direction of the cider. There's like a stage area where like people perform, but it's not like a super big stage, but just like a
Mhm.
smaller stage. And then there's like this really big mojito bar place, which I love me a mojito, girl. If I pick anything, mojito is it. I
Got
did
it.
not go over there though because it just didn't seem as enticing as that caramel apple cider. So,
Gotcha.
but it's over in that area. Again, when you're there, let me know. I'll tell you where to find it.
I will definitely because I might
Got it.
try that out, especially because you're saying it's not too sweet, so
Yeah.
definitely up my alley.
No, it's perfect. Even my sister tried it and she's like, okay, like okay, this is it. Because again, the name kind of throws you off a little bit, but
It does,
it's just right.
but
So,
I was just telling my boyfriend the other day about how much I really wanted like a candied apple, so that might just be like the best of both worlds right there.
yeah, a great substitute. Yeah, I usually get one of those too, but I didn't. So,
Mm.
but no, it was a pretty good experience. It wasn't too hot. Like the weather was just right. Everything
Yeah.
was pretty like lined up just the way it needed to be. And the only thing that really sucks per usual is traffic
Oh,
going
yeah,
in,
awful.
going in, going in and coming out traffic. Initial traffic once you hit that area, of course, but it wasn't too terrible. So.
I forgot to put my phone on do not disturb. Ah, don't look at my stuff, people.
Someone's becoming old and forgetful. The
Oh,
audacity.
shoot. Well, you normally remind me before we start recording, and we were just all gung ho to get the episode started. I completely
Right.
forgot. So, for those of y'all watching this video, if I can't really edit that out, so just don't pay attention to my personal stuff. Ah, shit.
Don't worry about what she got. That's okay. But yeah, so it was a good time. Do you have
Oh, mhm.
anything you look forward to with going to the Big E? Are you someone who have you gone in the past?
Mad at myself about that. I'm a little distracted right now. Yes, I have gone in the past. I think I've only gone twice
Mhm.
that I recall. I know it's
Okay.
like a big thing for like our area, but it was never really something that like I had ever went to.
Mhm.
Um, but the 2 times that I did go, I did enjoy it. They
Okay.
do have a lot of things.
Mhm.
Obviously, the crowds are just not something that anybody really likes to deal with,
Of
and
course
I
not.
always seem to go on, like, the last weekend that they have it, so that doesn't really make it any better when it comes to the crowd.
Yeah. It's a setup for yourself.
Definitely is. But I mean, aside from that, I did enjoy it. I always love to get my baked potato, like you mentioned,
Mm.
and their big fat, like, mozzarella stick is to die
Oh
for.
yeah.
So I definitely go for, like, those 2 things, and, I don't know if I've really ever gone, like, too adventurous in, like, things because 'cause I'm very, like, plain Jane when it comes to, like,
Mm.
things that I eat, so,
Okay.
um, yeah, but I've definitely enjoyed it, and so if I do go, this year, those will be
Mhm.
things that I'm looking forward to, so
They have like these little I don't know if you had them. They're like mini donuts, like like small
munchkins?
circular donuts, probably like that size. Um
Munchkins.
which you can get like a whole bag of them.
Uh-huh. Sorry, they're munchkins. Go ahead.
But they're not munchkins because they have a hole in them like an actual donut. Munchkins don't have a hole, they are the hole.
Okay, well, you didn't specify that part of it. So they're mini donuts. Okay, continue.
I meant what I said. Yeah, so they are actually pretty good. They do, you could do like a cinnamon sugar or like a powdered sugar on them or whatever,
Mhm.
confectionery, whatever. But yeah, it's I've never had that before. It was my first time getting that this year, which they were fantastically good and they were um just so fresh when you get them and nice and hot and
Yeah,
just very soft and oh, melts in your mouth. It was a really, really good new try for me this year. That was another thing I forgot that you
gotcha.
might want to try out.
Yeah, no, those are
Just
really good.
saying.
They have a place like that in New York City, that sells
Mm,
them like that. I've gotten them a few times, and
okay.
French donuts are always the best. So,
Yeah, no, they really are. They
yeah,
really are. And I haven't had donuts like that in a good minute either. Like it's really been a minute. And I used to love me some donuts. I was
yeah.
used to be the worst at snacks. So, but yeah, that's another thing I just thought I'd mention in case you want to go for it while you're there.
Gotcha. Well, appreciate it. I will definitely look around for those things because I know that place is fucking huge and I get lost
Hmm.
all the time. So
Yeah, yeah, I'm not good with that either. But I know where to find like my lobster roll, of course, and then I'm
yeah,
just like, all right, where did I park?
yeah, exactly.
Like shit.
Yeah,
Someone guide me back.
right.
But no, overall good experience. I hope you enjoy your time there too. So and hopefully you have something good to share when you come back. You better not have found anything that I don't know about and not tell me
Well, I
before I
would
go.
tell you, but
I'm saying like tell me before I
oh,
go.
before you go. Oh, gotcha.
Right.
Noted.
Okay. Good. I'm just saying this so everybody can hear me. Had said it to her. So when
Oh,
we come back
okay.
to recording after everybody went to the biggie, I have my proof.
Appreciate it, I guess. Fucking putting me on the spot and shit. But you know what? Whatever. That's just how it is.
Yeah, life at its finest.
Mm.
But no, so I'm actually really interested because just a change of topic, I have been trying to adjust my social media a little bit.
Okay.
So with like my Instagram, just trying to take off more of like those toxic things that I really don't need, like seeing other people's toxicity and just trying to have like more like positive and happiness and things that make me laugh on my page. So by saying that, that page, the shade room, which has all the tea, I had removed them
Oh,
from my social media.
gotcha.
So it made me think about how you said, "Oh, girl, have you heard about this latest celebrity tea?" And I'm like,
Oh,
"No." At first, I'm
yeah.
like, "No," and then I'm like, "Wait," and then I was like, "Oh yeah, because I've taken that off of my page, so I don't." I really like. I didn't realize how much they actually post about like,
Oh.
for me, unnecessary stuff, and
Mhm.
it's like, damn. I just realized how much less I actually see now because of them being
Gotcha.
gone. But I am actually intrigued though now to know, I don't have to necessarily browse it, but I can, get the tea from you.
Well, yeah, but now I'm like, well, shoot, do I even want to talk to you about it? Because we're trying to cleanse yourself of all this toxic negativity and whatever.
Cleansing when I'm scrolling through my timeline. Now, just to hear good old chat, that ain't gonna affect me like that. But when you constantly see it all
Mhm.
the time, that for me is more negative than having a conversation about it. Who we gonna talk about? Celebrities put their lives out there for a reason, right? To be talked
Yeah.
about. So,
I
you know.
guess that's true. And one of the things that I want to talk about, which I think I'm going to save that one for last,
Ooh.
um, I think like intentionally just puts everything on social media, good, bad,
Mm-hmm.
and the ugly, just to chase like clout and followers and reactions and all that kind of stuff. But we'll get to there.
Okay.
But the first thing that I wanted to talk about, and it is kind of old news at this point, but like not
Mm-hmm.
really old news. And maybe that is because like it just like keeps popping up in my timeline. But I know that you used to at least watch Love and Hip Hop,
It's been a good minute. Yeah.
right? And so
Mm-hmm.
you know Erica Mena.
Of course, right. Yeah.
Okay, like who doesn't if you do indulge in Love and Hip Hop?
Mm-hmm.
So I it's this is like a trigger warning for some people. She
Mhm.
made some racist comments, which
Against Ice Spice. No, not Ice Spice,
oh, just
Ice.
spice,
Just Spice, there you go.
just
Look,
spice.
they all got the same names. Why do they all have the same name? That's annoying.
I
I
know.
knew who I was talking about, but I'm like, once I said the name, I'm like, that ain't her.
Nope, nope, the other one, the other spice.
Yep.
So you read up on it then, I'm
Oh
assuming,
yeah, I didn't
after
delete
I
them
said
at
it.
that point. I still had
Okay.
them. Yeah.
Oh, so this is like a fresh cleanse. Okay, because this was only like maybe a week or 2 ago.
Really?
Yeah, it was not that long ago.
Oh, I felt like it was like a good like 2, 3. Either way, it's a recent cleanse. Yes.
Okay, gotcha. So I guess they got into an argument over I don't even know what they were beefing about, like to begin with, or why they were having a sit down. But
I forgot.
S-
Yeah. Something
Spice
to do with
made
Safari, probably.
oh yeah, it definitely was
Per
because
usual.
they have their relationship history, but that's not what we're gonna get into today.
No.
That's a whole nother topic. So they were trying to like come to terms with whatever drama about Safari. And in that conversation, Spice was commenting on Erica's parenting and how
Mm-hmm.
like her first son doesn't really want to be involved in like social media and any kind of like celebrity anything, like,
Doings.
wants to live, like,
Mm-hmm.
a normal life, and she had made some kind of a comment that was disrespectful, about,
Mm-hmm.
like, her mothering and saying, like, "Your son doesn't even like you," or some kinda stuff.
Mm-hmm. Mm.
And so with that, that kind of like, really spiraled Erica into her, I'm gonna say devilish ways because that girl is extremely spicy and
Mm.
she definitely doesn't have a filter. And she is just one of those girls who really goes like below the belt just to like say whatever to hurt your feelings and get you riled
Mm-hmm.
up and whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And so she, in her response to that, why this came up in her head and whatever, I don't know, but she proceeded to call Spice a monkey,
Mm.
which just wild because I would think the common folk
Mm-hmm.
like knows that that is a term that you just don't use. Um,
Especially today.
yeah, especially today, and when you're talking to certain individuals and stuff, like you don't use unless you're talking about, like, an actual, like, monkey at a zoo or,
Right.
you know,
Right.
in the context that it's intended for,
Right.
you don't use that term, because it is very racial and it has its history in being
Right.
discriminatory and stuff like that, and when she used that, it just kind of, like, set things to, like, a whole nother level.
Oh hell
And I
yeah.
actually just watched another video today,
Mm-hmm.
where Yandy was trying to, like, talk to her, like, reasonably, because you know how Yandy always tries to have, like,
Be
her
the peacemaker. Yeah.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess in that conversation, Erica was still, like, not, like, sorry for anything that she did. It didn't really seem like she had any kind of, like, sympathy
She's
or
dumb as hell.
understanding of, like, what she's doing because she was hurt, and again, she's one of those girls who's just gonna do whatever to, like, get
Just
under
be
your skin.
petty. Yeah.
Yeah, and she doesn't care, like, about anything else,
I find that
which
shit to be so wild because she's dumb as hell because
yeah,
your father of your children are black. She's not
exactly,
black. Erica Mina is not black, but the father of your children is. So
right,
therefore they're half black. So therefore you just called a black woman a monkey. So therefore your children are monkeys.
yeah, which is wild because you know damn well
Right.
when those kids are grown, that clip's gonna come back, they're gonna see that shit,
Right. And what they gonna
and
think of you as their mother?
yeah. Which I don't know. But, like, why even like, there's so many other things you could have said and done and, like,
Right.
whatever, like, why was that even something that comes
Or
out of
you
your
could
mouth?
just be a bigger person and not fall into it. But I
Right.
personally feel like because she knows that she probably is, I hate to say it, but she probably is a less than parent to that child than she is to her other children who are seen in social media.
Yeah, I mean,
Who's
maybe.
to say? But at the same time, like to go there, you're
Yeah.
dumb as hell. For one, you're on Love and Hip Hop, which is a show viewed by a lot of black people.
Right, it's all up in the culture, like, that's
Right.
the
So it's like
last place.
make this make sense. And then, especially with today being a huge thing of having cancel culture, which
Mhm.
forgot to mention that in verbal vibes, but it's like, You're so dumb because you can easily ruin things for yourself, but I hate to say it, her saying that isn't really gonna ruin a lot for her because there are so many people who support her. And
Well,
has
I
it changed?
mean,
Because listen, I'm freshly removed, so let me know if something has changed.
well, so that's why I wanted to make sure that I point out the video that I saw today of Yandy
Mhm,
trying to, like, reason with her, and she had no remorse or anything like that. Because since all of this transpired
mhm.
and what is it now? It's not VH1 anymore. I think it's MTV that, like, controls Love and Hip Hop.
Oh, really?
Um,
They changed it? Damn.
I think so because
I haven't watched that show in a long ass time.
I don't think VH1 is a thing anymore.
Really?
I don't think so.
Where have I don't even have cable, y'all, so
I don't either, but,
shit.
I'm pretty confident that it's taken over by MTV. I'm
Well, I
pretty
think MTV originally owned a bunch of that stuff anyway, so
I think so too, but I
yeah. But
know
damn, the VH1 itself is gone? Jeez.
I think so. Don't quote me
What
on that, but
what is today's world? I have to
I don't
Google
know.
that. Go ahead, keep
We're
talking.
just old as shit. So ever since shut up. So ever since all that transpired, they actually fired her from Love and Hip Hop
Thank
because she
goodness.
was using these racist terms. And also there's other like deals and stuff that she has been involved in. And there was some other like show or something that she was also on. I
Mm,
forget the name of it off the top of my head.
mhm.
But they also have fired her as well for these remarks.
Yes.
So she's starting to see the repercussions and
Mhm.
being a part of the cancel culture because she made these remarks. And of course, it wasn't until after all of those things transpired is when she
Right.
posted to her social her apology for using like those kind of remarks and stuff like that, which everybody knew was not a real
Phony.
apology.
That
It's
is
something
phony
that
as
comes
hell.
after you get called out for the shit that you're doing.
That's funny as hell. And honestly, that's that shit that I don't like because she's one of those people that will play the fence where she's like, "Oh, I'm black, I'm down, I'm this, I'm that," but then you want to turn around and call somebody a monkey. So what are you,
Right.
white now?
Yeah. Like what and because what is she, I think she's like Spanish or something.
She's Spanish, which is still technically white
Yeah.
because when you look at the different, races that you get on
Yeah, the like
any forms,
right.
and they only give you 5 races, and you always have to pick, like, white, Hispanic, or white non-Hispanic, which I think is just whatever, but
It's weird, yeah.
yeah. But it's just, like, she's over here just playing the fence, like,
Mhm.
you wanna be all up in the Black culture, but you wanna turn around and call somebody a monkey, which I just feel like is just the dumbest shit ever, especially when you have children
Yeah.
who are Black.
Right.
To me, that's the part that I find to be the worst, even worse than being within the Black culture on a TV show.
Mhm.
It's just the fact that you have children, and the fact that that wasn't important enough. Your kids aren't important enough to think about in that moment of, damn, if I say this, someone might actually say this to my kids as well as I'm saying it to someone else's daughter.
Right. And then what? Like
And
what
then
are you
what, you're
gonna
gonna want to
say? You
fight that
can't
person who does it to your kids?
right. Like you
Because then
can't
who's fighting
continue.
you?
Exactly.
You know? I just when I first seen that, I was like, this girl ain't got no damn life. This is why she on TV because she don't got nothing else going on for her. Clearly.
Exactly. No, and so it's kinda like, okay, like now what are you gonna do? Like reality TV is like who
Mm-hmm.
you are. Like
Right.
I don't see her doing anything else.
That's so
And
sick.
it just it is, and it's just
Mm.
I don't know.
Wow. What else you got for tea? Because I'm tired about Erica's ass now. Oh, I just want to mention that so last year VH1 moved to BET networks, just so you know. So
Oh,
some stuff premieres on MTV as well, like the drag race stuff. Just mentioning. So VH1 is gone, y'all. It's gone. Cassie was right.
alright, I thought so. See, I have my shit together. I just,
You do.
ugh. But the one thing and the last thing that I will say about Erica Mena is that sadly enough, I am actually not surprised that something like that came out of her mouth just because of
Yeah.
the kind of person that she is. She just it's not surprising, which is
Not at all. Because she's always been that, like you said, low down, dirty, filthy, go below the belt type of chick. So, well, then again, I'm sure that's how she got into the show. So, well, look at
yeah.
that. Your skills helped you and failed you all at the same time.
Yeah, right. There's just certain lines that you don't cross people. Um,
Right.
and
Ugh.
just one of those is just anything involving kids, right? So this next topic that I wanted to bring up
Oh
to you
boy.
is the big, well, to me it's not, to me it's big, but I think it's just because, once you start looking at things on social media, it like just goes everywhere. So like in your
Right.
social media world, it seems big, if that makes sense. But
It's
this
on
whole
everything.
exactly, right? No matter what you do. But so we're just gonna take a minute here to talk on and Blueface because child, their whole situation just has me, and I can't even front. Like, I am just so intrigued in the drama just because I'm like, is this even real life? Like,
Why?
do they have this, like, I don't know, scheme like drawn up like behind the scenes just to like get followers and stuff like that? Because
Why? Tell
I
me
just,
more.
I just don't understand, right? Like, for those of y'all who don't know, right? So we have Blueface, who was with Krishan for a while. They allegedly have a child together, but Blueface
She
also
said
has
allegedly.
his original baby mama, who they share two kids together.
Not original.
Well, what else do you call it?
First? I don't know. Is she the first?
She is the first.
Oh,
She
then
was the
yeah.
first and only until Krishan came along.
Oh, okay, so then yeah, I would say first then. She said
Not
original.
original. That doesn't
She
work.
gave her the top tier title. Original bitch.
It would. I mean, anyways, okay. So, where am I even going with this? So, him and his baby mama, his first baby mama,
Hmm.
broke up while he was with Krishan. Krishan got pregnant and then they broke up. And he's been trying to play house and family with his first baby mama ever since. And he like posts his two kids and stuff all the time and her and
Mm.
pitting them against each other and pretty much saying like how his first baby mama is like a better like spouse and stuff because she like cleans up and cooks and does our gender role things that we've talked about in the past, whereas Krishan is more about like making money than she is taking holding down the household, I guess you can say, right?
Okay.
You look like you want to say something.
Just waiting for you to keep going. I feel like there's so much I want to say, and I'm like, you know what?
Sorry, but
Let
there's
me be
just
a
so
listening
much.
ear.
So you might have to just, like, stop me because there's just so many things that I wanna talk about, but I haven't even gotten to, like, the intent of this conversation.
Oh gosh.
I'm just giving the people a little background story.
Okay.
But so ever since he's been trying to be all, like, uh, what are we called? Domiciled with his, first baby mama and his kids and whatever and trying to look like he's, the
Trying to be domesticated.
yeah, there you go. Um So, but even things that he be doing is just wild to me. Like he's just not a fit parent. They've had Child Protective Services called on them a few times for shit that they be posting online and stuff like that. Like
Isn't he like
maybe
two?
no, he's a little older than that. He's got to be at least he's in school, so he's at least like maybe 5, something like that.
No, I meant
Or 5.
Blueface.
Oh, him. Yeah, he's something like that because that man is a child. I just I don't even know where to even
Oh my,
begin.
oh my
See,
gosh.
you just totally threw me. Oh, so what was the one thing I was gonna say? God damn it.
This is what happens when you get old, y'all.
It is.
Think thoughts come
It just
and thoughts go.
yeah. Um, but he's just done so many things. Like,
I know you mentioned the Child Protective Services.
yeah. Well, because what did he do? He did something. You just have me all kinds of thrown. But I
Y'all,
guess
this is how our real conversations go. I just want you to know this isn't because we're on a podcast. Like, this is dead ass real life conversation with Cassie and I. So just know this is all authentic.
it sure is, because this shit ain't scripted. Um, So one of the things that he did is that oh that's what it is. All right, so he is always asking his son. So he has a son who's older, and he has the daughter who's like maybe 1.5 or something.
Hmm.
He's always asking his son if he's gay, which is weird because who asks their 5-year-old if they're gay, right? And what prompted that, this is where I was going. So what prompted that is because they like record all these like music videos and stuff in his house, and these rappers and stuff in their music videos, and they have like
Hmm.
all these like thotty girls and like bikinis and no clothes, like
Yep.
twerking and all that kind of stuff and whatever. And
Mhm.
he was asking his son if he was gay because while there was, like, half naked girls in the living room, his son was in the pantry trying to get a snack. And he was like, "Are you gay? Like, there's, girls over here in the living room, like, why aren't you over there?"
Ugh, that is so disgusting. This is what this is how kids are being raised today
Yes,
with
it's wild.
disgusting ass parents like that.
It
What
is.
is wrong with you, dude? Like, really, you're over here asking a 5-year-old who's just trying to probably go get his little snacks out the cabinet, minding his damn
Yeah.
business because he doesn't want to see some girls. For one, he's probably just used to it, so he don't even care,
Right.
which is already disgusting.
Yeah.
But ugh, ugh,
And I'm sure he doesn't even know what any of that means. Like, I feel like when you're 5, like, you're not even into, like, anyone at that point, you know what I mean? Like, you just wanna play and
no, have a good time and annoy your parents. Like, that's just what you
yeah.
do at 5. I mean, they are teaching kids that in school to call people they. So, I mean, it's
Oh, no.
being imposed in more ways than one. But
Yeah.
to ask a child if they're gay is ridiculous.
Well, yeah, and especially in, like, that kind of, like, context, like, "Oh, because you're
Yeah.
not, like, over here by these older women, like, why are you."
Probably stinks in there.
Ugh, ew, I didn't even think about that. Anyways, so that was, like, one thing, right? But then it also makes you question their parenting, his parenting, whatever the hell you wanna call it, because then he went on live once and was talking to his son about the fact that his son took an inappropriate picture of, how do I say this? Like, appropriately, he was taking, um, photos of himself that a grown man would be taking, and he is only, like, a little child, and he was
Be-
pretty much, like, just on live, like, talking to his son about this and saying that, like, "Why did you do that?" and stuff, and his son's like, "No, like, don't tell them," and, like, all this kind of stuff and whatever. But it's, like, so many questions. Like, first of all, why is your son even thinking of taking any kind of photo like that at all to begin
because
with?
he's seen someone else do it.
Or something. Like, kids don't just do things like that and think like that at all, like, in general, you know what I mean? So it's
I'm
just kind of like,
disturbed. That shit is so.
this is leading up to.
It gets worse. Oh my gosh. The thing is, I just have to say that I feel so terribly for these children that are brought
Yes.
into this world with those parents because
Mhm.
and any child that has parents like that because that is straight sickening aside from them being engaged in things that they should not even be a part of,
Yeah.
but then they're going to get older,
Mhm.
just like you mentioned with the Erica thing, things are going to resurface. But now this is even worse because now this is something that can embarrass them, the
Yeah.
children, from their own doings
Mhm.
unknowingly
Yeah.
because they're following stuff that other people are doing.
Right.
And that's what leads people to things like suicide and just down that rabbit hole of going down a whole path that they may not even never need to be on, but because of this one incident,
Mhm.
their lives are effed.
Yeah. And it's wild too because it's like, okay, like, for whatever reason that is even happening in the first place, why do you feel it necessary to broadcast on an Instagram live to have this
Right.
conversation with your child in front of,
Because
like,
he's sick.
yeah, like, have those
Oh,
conversations behind closed doors and parent your child, like, away from the public view, like, especially something like that, like,
that is so
what
crazy.
is
Oh,
wrong with
that makes
people?
me cry on the inside because I just feel
Very
so
sad.
bad for that little boy.
Mhm. And I think that's why some people that are watching this is calling CPS on them so much because it's like these,
This is
this
not
poor
okay.
kid. No, not at all.
This is why they say everyone should not be allowed to have children, and I'm just personally
Yeah.
agreeing with that. So,
Oh yeah, definitely.
fight
I
me
think
if you want to, but
like tests
that's
and
my
everything
opinion, and
for the
clearly these people are proving it.
yeah. Uh, it's just wild. So
What the fuck
I
you
mean,
got that's even worse than this? Because I can't. I don't. My heart
so all these things are happening, right? Whatever. And so Krishan is over here, and she recently just had her baby, not even a month ago. This baby's not even a month old.
named him after herself too.
Yeah, which. That was a petty move on her behalf. But
I sure wasn't naming after that guy on that nasty shit.
no. But yeah. So uh he hasn't really been involved in the child's life and stuff because he, is trying to do right by his first baby mom, and things like that can get messy in like general.
Mm.
But I guess I don't even really know like what started. There's just so many things that are like going on. But the point of the story here is
Tell us.
just because there's so many things I can talk about. So I guess the other day, um, they so Krishan had put out that their son needed some kind of a surgery, but she wasn't giving any information or anything like that. But like something
Mhm.
was like going on, and then Blueface decided to tell the world that it was because this child has a hernia. And then in some revenge post that he did, which was quickly deleted and removed, but why you would even do this in the first place is I guess at some point in time, Krishan had sent Blueface a picture of their son's like hernia, so that way he can, see it and be involved in like what's going on with their child and stuff like that. And it was of the lower region of the baby, and for whatever reason, Blueface decided to like post this on his, I don't know if it was like Instagram or Twitter or whatever, and pretty much expose this baby's private parts in a post. And when he like wrote like a caption or whatever about it, it wasn't even like talking about like the hernia. It was like some like shots fired at her talking something about like his nether regions, and why don't you get your son's stuff in order or whatever while you're sitting here like talking to like other dudes or something along like those kinds of lines. Like it wasn't even, first of all, if you're gonna post a picture, you don't post that, you cover it or whatever if you're trying to show like a medical condition. Um, but it wasn't even anything about the medical condition. It was just about some, petty ass move between him and Krishan,
Wow.
which
See, this is exactly why I don't have social media toxicity on my timeline because what the hell?
yeah, it's wild.
And that
And
was
now
me putting
he's
that kindly and
yeah.
gently.
Oh, I know, and Krishan was, like, on live, and she was, like, crying and screaming and, saying, like, all these things about him and whatever. Because like, why would you do that? And
Why did she even send it to him?
I think just to keep him like, I can kind of understand her perspective because,
Why
I
didn't she
mean,
crop it is my whole thing. Because
well, I don't know, I
we
think it's really low. So I don't know, like, I didn't see the photo myself,
mhm.
but I think that the hernia is, like, low in, like, the abdomen. So I don't know if it was able to be cropped or whatever when to show him, you know
I feel like she knows, and at this point, we all know he probably touches boys for one,
well,
because the
jeez.
fuck? Why is your 5-year-old taking pictures of his own shit and then you're posting an infant? Why is a 5-year-old taking pictures of himself and you're broadcasting that on live,
Yeah.
talking about that? And then, because for one, most parents would be ashamed and
Mhm.
embarrassed by that, not trying to shame their child on there because they know if you have a brain, that's a reflection on you as a parent.
Right.
And then an infant is now being exposed.
Yeah, not even a month old.
Something probably happened to him in his life, but now his children are suffering because they have
Mhm.
him as a dad. And
Yeah.
then they have them dumbass moms.
Yeah. No, it's definitely wild.
Like, I'm
Uh,
speechless
yeah. And then the next day he tried to claim that someone hacked his account and like stole his phone or whatever, and now he has a new phone. I'm like,
because then whoever you're hanging out with is also just as sick as you are to post a baby online.
right. Exactly. But I don't
Like,
buy that shit. I'm pretty
I
sure
don't
that
either.
it was him and that was just his like way to try to get out of it. But like,
And it's the right because you've already busted your 5-year-old's business.
well, yeah,
So
so I wouldn't put it past him. You know what I
so
mean?
now this one can't talk. So
Exactly.
this one has no, like, that is so sad. Like, a baby has no defense other than their parents. That's the first people to defend them.
Mhm.
And
That's not happening at all. There's no defense going on at all whatsoever. It's just pure.
Well, that Krishan shit gets tapped anyways, because I'm sure she been knocked upside the head one time too many and in too many fights. She's still out here with that missing tooth, so I'm pretty sure she's not all the way there either.
Yeah.
And still, I feel like I see the signs of Blueface being a sicko. So I'm sure she's seen the signs and just let those red flags pass on by
Yeah.
because no. You don't need to send I don't care how low that damn hernia is. You can crop a picture. You could put a smiley face over the shit. Like, damn.
Right. Something, So I don't know. The
And
whole
not
thing.
necessarily a smiley face. I meant an emoji, but smiley face was the first thing that came up because that's just weird. Just saying.
I know what you meant. Cover it.
Just want to make sure that people understand. The people, y'all need to understand. I am not on that same page, but you know, I
Yeah.
am. I was born in the '80s, so a smiley face and emoji are the same thing. That's
Yeah.
all.
Stupid. Oh man. But
Wow,
yeah,
Cassie,
I
you just
mean,
gave us a whole whew, shit.
because I just like, because I have no one to like talk to about this kind of stuff, and it's a lot to take in.
That is. You
And
would need
like,
to take the toxicity off of your timeline, because
I
god
might,
damn.
because when I'm telling you, like, I am way too invested in this
Right.
drama. Like, I just because I'm just so mind blown that like this is actually like happening. Like
It's
these are
happening and
things
that it's
that are.
all over social media.
Yes, it's like it's just so crazy. It's like really hard to believe that these are human beings like acting normally, like in like their kind of normal. You know what I mean? Like this isn't like some weird TV show or like this isn't I mean scripted or like these are people that are actually like
Real life things for them.
yeah, which is just like so. That itself is just so mind-blowing to me, like, there really are people out there like this, and the crazy part is, though, is, like, these are just 2 people who just happen to be somewhat, like, social media famous and stuff like that, but, like, I am
Right.
sure shit like this goes on, like, in a very smaller scale, but, like, you just don't
Yeah.
the world just doesn't know about it, which is
It's just
just
not broadcasting on every other page, you know?
exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, it's one of those things that make you stop and think, and you don't actually have to answer this, but it's like, do I wish that there was less social media?
Oh, hell yeah.
Like, would you rather be in times where there was less social media or be in times of today? Because it's really like, do you want to know less or do you want to know the amount of things that you know now? Because that's essentially the difference. Because I'm fairly certain there's no difference between what's happening today versus what was happening before social media was an addictive device for everyone.
Yeah. I mean, for me, hell yeah. I would go back in an instant to no social media. Those days were
Oh
a lot
my
better than
gosh.
they are
All right,
today.
the world seemed a little more sane.
Definitely. Yeah.
Ugh.
I just I don't know. The
But then you
internet
get to
is
know so many different things though. So then it's like, shit.
you do, but I'd rather not know.
I'll stick to my Google searches. That's not social media. So as long as I got internet, I'm good. But you can get rid of the Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, all that. That can
Yeah.
go.
No, it's
We would still be here as podcasters because, you can still listen to us on podcasting hubs, which isn't necessarily social media. So
you can. I was just thinking that too, and I was like, well, wait a minute, hold on now. We just
yeah.
tell people to get rid of us. We can't do that. Come on now.
Is YouTube considered a social media? Because that one might have to stay.
Yes, yes, it is.
Shit. All right,
Well,
as long as
don't be
y'all can
trying
still
to
hear
cancel
us
us
though.
now. Well,
Listen, they've
yeah.
been
I
listening to
mean,
radio for years, so
I was
you
gonna
know.
say, considering that we are on radio and stuff like that, I mean, you can still get to us, but don't
Mhm.
worry. We might not be well, Amanda might not be all involved in all the toxic drama, but we are surely here to stay on our social media platforms. So don't y'all be worried now. We are
Exactly,
still
yeah.
here.
We're still here. We're just not gonna be if you post in toxicity, your girls ain't here for it. Unless it's really juicy, then Cassie's
Well,
gonna give you the tea.
Amanda might not be. I have not made the commitment to not be invested because I'm already in it. So we're
One
just
of us
here to
have to be,
stay.
so that's all.
Exactly. Or
Yin
else
and yang, we just balance each other out. That's all that is.
we sure do.
Mhm. Well, what else? for the toxic vibes you have to share. I don't know how much more I can handle.
You know what?
I'm not
I'm
even
gonna
going to sleep
stop right
tonight.
there because there's just, again, so many other things with at least the two of them that I can go on for God only knows how long for. So stop me while I'm ahead. And
We are. I done lost my appetite. I didn't even have dinner tonight. We know that's done for. I don't know if I'm gonna sleep. I'm gonna hug my baby a lot more tighter, and she's probably just gonna be homeschooled and never
gosh,
go anywhere and interact with people for the rest of her life because what the fuck?
now, you can't do all of that. You can't do all of that. Don't give me that look. I know exactly what you're brewing up in that little mind of yours. Anyways,
Whatever.
y'all, I think that it's time for us to wrap up this lovely episode because we have given you a lot to digest
We
today.
Cassie gave y'all a lot. I was here suffering with y'all.
Oh man. So just make sure you guys don't forget to tune in to us on again all of your favorite platforms, whether it is your podcast platform, Spotify, and all of the other ones, or Instagram, YouTube, Facebook. Hope you guys are enjoying our brand new look for you guys. So make sure you let us
Yes,
know how you think about it. And I don't know, do you have any other words, Amanda, before we hop off of here?
just the usual. Until next time.
Bye, guys.